Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Satluj Textiles and Industries Limited Q1 FY22 earnings conference call hosted by Stellar IR Advisors Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star and 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Vipin Walani, Full-Time Director and CFO, Satluj Textiles. Thank you and over to you, sir.
Thank you and good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all to the earnings conference call of Satluj Textiles and Industries Limited for the quarter ended on 30th of June 2021. I hope that all of you and your families continue to remain safe. I have with me Mr. Udip Singh Chatra, President and CEO of Satluj Textiles and Industries Limited, and Stellar IR Advisors, our investor relationship team. The result presentation has been uploaded on the exchanges and I hope everyone had an opportunity to look at it. I will take you through financial performance highlights followed by industry and business insight by Shri Udip Singh Ji. The Indian textile industry has faced various challenges for the past more than 1 year on account of COVID-19 pandemic. However, with opening up of economies, the sector witnessed a sharp recovery and rebound in the second half of fiscal 2021, which continued in Q1 FY22. With increased demand in both domestic and export market, with some impact due to second wave of COVID-19 in April and May 21. During the quarter ended June 2021, the company reported consolidated total income of 591 crore against 197 crore in Q1 FY21 and 688 crore in Q4 FY21. The capacity utilization stood at around 90% on average for our yarn business in Q1 FY22 as against 93% in Q4 FY21, registering a marginal impact on account of second wave of COVID-19. We expect the momentum to continue. However, with emergence of second wave of COVID-19, reduced demand and delay in lifting of material in April and May, we saw some drop in overall sales by around 14% in Q1 FY22. In spite of drop in sales during the quarter compared to Q4 FY21, we witnessed improvement in EBITDA margin to 12.85% in Q1 FY22 as against 11.89% in Q4 FY21 on consolidated basis and 13.55% in Q1 FY22 as against 12.41% in Q4 FY21 on standalone basis with better realization in yarn business. The EBITDA during the quarter was 76 crore as against profit of 82 crore in Q4 FY21 and loss of 23 crore in Q1 FY21. The net profit during the quarter was 20 crore as against a loss of 38 crore in Q1 FY21 and a profit of 28 crore in Q4 FY21 on consolidated basis. We focus more on export and export was 39% of sales in Q1 FY22 compared to 36% in Q4 FY21. In home textile, being consumer-facing business, we saw some pressure on sales volume due to COVID-19 related restrictions in domestic market. In export market, we saw 8 to 9% improvement in realization per meter and domestic market realization remained steady as compared to Q4 FY21. Capacity utilization was low due to COVID-19 impact on discretionary spending. However, we hope for recovery in H1 FY22 with governments removing restrictions and economies are gradually opening up. In terms of leverage, notwithstanding the constraint posed by COVID-19, we continue to maintain debt equity level below 1. The total consolidated debt as on 30th June 2021 stood at 937 crore as against 907 crore on March 31st, 2021. The long-term debt decreased by 24 crore, while short-term debt increased by 53 crore, primarily on account of lower offtake during the quarter due to second wave of COVID-19. There was marginal increase in overall finance costs on account of Sutlej Green Fiber, that is recycle of polyester PSF, working as a normal production unit and has been commissioned in March 21. But overall, we benefited with a better working capital management and interest rate reduction. So the impact on finance costs remained marginal during the quarter, around 2%. Similarly, we saw some impact on depreciation costs with Sutlej Green Fiber going for normal production for the entire quarter. Lastly, we would like to highlight presently more than 35% of our working capital remain unutilized, thereby providing the company with adequate liquidity to meet all obligations as demand revives. That's all from my side. Now I would like to request Sri Deep Singh Ji to share the business outlook and industry scenario, and then we can open the floor for question and answer. Thank you, and over to Sri Deep Singh Ji. Hello.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
You are perfectly audible.
Okay. So thank you very much, Bipin, and thank you all investors and analysts for joining this call of Sutlej Textiles. The Indian textile and apparel industry, as you all know, showed robust signs of recovery in domestic as well as export sentiment segments, especially in H2 of financial year 2021 as compared to lows of 2020. However, the second wave of COVID-19 starting from the second half of April this year and affecting especially Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities and rural areas as well, unlike the first wave, which was restricted to Tier 1 cities only, impacted growth prospects of Indian textile industry in Q1 of 2021-22. See, the irregular lockdowns in April affected demand sentiments for especially synthetic yarns and blended yarns and fabrics in domestic market, leading to
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Sir, we lost you in between.
Okay. I don't know where did you lose me, but
we lost you after you said about the Tier 1 city.
Okay.
The lockdown impacted.
Okay.
Last time. Yeah.
So okay. So I'll just say that after that, and the irregular lockdowns in April affected the demand sentiments for yarn and fabric in domestic market, leading to demand supply mismatch in yarn fabric market. And especially it was for synthetic and blended yarns in the domestic market because the formal segment was not up. So that was one of the reasons. And with the strong export market and approaching festive season in India, we envisage a strong demand ahead. And of course, the caveat is that unprecedented impact of COVID-19, what we call the third wave. So that is one caveat which we have to look at. The recent onset, what happened for second wave in India and some key export markets, lingering uncertainty is likely to prolong and delay in full recovery for apparel players to the extent delaying the same towards the end of the year 22 or early 23. And the restrictive measures, though temporary like store closures, restricted shopping and mass movement and limited spending on account of second wave of infections is expected to bring down the revenue growth of organized apparel sector to 15-20%. This is as per one of the rating agencies. As far as the home textile business is concerned, this continues to be affected by lag in demand, whereas the pent-up demand during the festive season and gradual opening of export market should gradually lead to pick up in this segment in which we are in. The government has continuously supported the textile sector, being one of the largest employers in the country with the announcement of PLI schemes and other incentives. I think the new policies which the government has given should thrust up this sector. And being one of the leaders in yarn industry, we believe that we can capitalize on these opportunities. As far as the raw material is concerned, we saw, in case of cotton, we saw a surge from last quarter, the Q4 of 21, we saw a surge in the price by about 28%. And we say that cotton is going to be stable to low going forward with the new season. And if you look at the crop, we envisage that the area under cultivation, as of now, the sowing is about 7 to 7.7% low as compared to last season. But I think we should end up doing almost the same, if not more, because of the monsoons which we are getting now. And the overall look at the cotton estimates and the balance sheet, we feel that the closing stock, as per the government, what figures have come out, should be in the range of say 118. But some other estimates also show this too as about 50 lakh bales, and the consumption is being pegged at almost 340,000 to 347,000 bales. So I think that cotton crop is going to be good, and the prices definitely would be stable to low. As regards the polyester, I think the polyester prices have been firming up over the last quarter, and there has been considerable increase of polyester prices by almost 10 to 11% over the last quarter. The Q4 of 21 to Q1 of 22. Now, as regards the recycled polyester fiber, which we also have our own manufacturing facility for the fiber, there we have seen a very big surge in the raw material of bottle. The PET bottle have shown an increase of almost 31% from the last quarter of 21 to the first quarter of, say, as on 30th of June, we have seen an increase of almost 31% in the bottle prices. Whereas the fiber prices, recycled fiber prices have come down from 78 rupees per se to 73, say minus 6%. So there has been a pressure on the recycled polyester fiber. Luckily, we could run our capacity to almost 89% in case of fiber plant, and because we are consuming this fiber ourselves. As regard viscose, with the recent announcement of government on this what we call anti-dumping duty, withdrawal of anti-dumping duty on viscose, its impact is yet to be seen. Although we envisage that there should be a price movement downward for the viscose fiber in domestic market, but the real impact would be clear in next about a week to 10 days time. So overall, we see that the raw material prices in this quarter should be little bit firm, if not too low, and as a result, we envisage that the yarn realization, the yarn prices should also behave in the similar manner. So at Satluj, we continue to focus on our well-diversified value-added product portfolio, and the balance sheet of the company will aid us to capitalize on the opportunities going ahead. In the end, I must say that our strong roots have led us to withstand the storm in the recent past, which will help us to grow stronger in the coming future. Thank you very much, and I can now open the floor for question and answer session.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Prerna from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. So congratulations on a good set of numbers in restricted environment of operations. I would like to understand few of macro environment that is going on in the textile industry. First of it, you mentioned that anti-dumping duty, the impact of viscose is not will be clear in a week's time. Could you just help us understand what happened when the anti-dumping duty on PTA was removed by the government? It could just help us understand the impact on the sector which polyester industry has witnessed, and eventually we can understand viscose as well much better.
See, when anti-dumping duty on PTA was removed, immediately there was some reaction in terms of the pressure on the polyester prices. But I think polyester prices over a period of time have rebounded. I'm talking of the fiber prices. So we didn't see too much impact for the polyester prices going forward from the removal of anti-dumping duty from PTA. Today, the prices are at almost the same level in case of Reliance.
No, in terms of global competitiveness, as compared to what we were pre-anti-dumping duty in polyester and post-anti-dumping duty removal on polyester, export prospects, I'm just trying to understand from that perspective as well.
See, export definitely, the companies in India who are manufacturing polyester fiber, they have really gone, they should have gone up on the exports as well because they are more competitive now getting the raw materials from outside and also having a sort of a situation where there is an alternative supplier of raw material of PTA. So definitely their exports should have gone up. This is my estimate.
Okay. And how has it changed for blended yarn players, the scenario, whether PC cotton, PC yarn and all, they have seen better demand and better competitiveness in the export market post removal of anti-dumping duty?
Yes, the PC yarns over a period of time, I wouldn't say that it is only related to anti-dumping duty, but yes, the blended yarns with the polyester blend have done well over the last quarter. So even in export as well as in Indian market. So that is one area. That is mainly due to the thrust of the people on MMF and also the support of government on MMF. So I think the PC has done well over the last one quarter in India as well as in exports. And now people have better access to the polyester fiber from other companies as well because they are also competitive importing some raw materials from outside India.
Okay. And so how is the demand with respect to MMF, basically blended yarn? We understand cotton has seen a sharp improvement in demand due to China plus one alternative sourcing that is playing out due to ban on Xinjiang cotton. But how is the same for PC, PV yarn that you are witnessing from the global markets and from Indian fabric manufacturers who might be exporting or using in domestic market?
Yeah. See the PC and PV, these are two different segments and two different, I would say, categories. So in case of PV, the demand was a little bit skewed in case of, India because there was a lockdown and the formal wear was not, being produced. So as such, we saw a skew in this demand and especially of the PV yarn. As far as the export is concerned, and another major player in export, for the PV market is Turkey. So we saw that in export also there was little pressure on PV during this period because of the formal wear everywhere and because of the lockdown. Whereas in case of PC, we see that there has been a considerable better demand than PV because it also goes for knitting and all. So PC has witnessed a better demand over the last quarter as compared to the PV yarns.
Okay. And will the profitability will also differ materially between PC, PV and cotton yarn? And has the demand for and has the margins for dyed yarn started improving as compared to 3 to 6 months back?
See, we see some improvement in margins of dyed yarns, but of course, cotton yarn still remains the most profitable over the quarter. And then comes the PC, and then the last was the PV because of the formal segment not being, in place for the demand. So cotton has been the driver, I think, for the spinning companies over the last one quarter.
Okay. And sir, what will be your cotton inventory at the end of March as well as at the end of June?
You are talking in terms of number of days. We are covered
number of
till
days,
end of
yeah.
We are covered till end of the season.
Covered till end of the season, and you covered it in the month of March only.
No, we as a policy we do that. gradually, and we did cover that towards the end of June.
Okay. Okay. And sir, last question from my side would be, now that we are seeing heightened demand in the textile sector, would there be any expansion plans that you have figured out where there could be a great opportunity for growth for such textiles?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there are many things on the drawing board, and with the backed by the government policies and the government thrust on the employment on the textile sector, I think we are also envisaging that we can increase on certain areas. We can enter certain areas. So we are always open to that.
Any color you can give where the demand is very high and you could see some opportunity?
See, it is always on the value addition. I would say that that we can always go for the value addition from the yarn.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. I'll return back to question queue for more questions.
Thank you so much, Prerna. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, please press star and 1 now. The next question is from the line of Ritesh Poladia from Girik Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Sir, as you said, on the green fiber, the delta on the green fiber actually reversed. So that would have a negative impact on the current financials?
I think this is something we have to look at in terms of operational efficiencies. We are now almost at the peak of the operational efficiency. So definitely yes. I mean it is based on the delta between the raw material and the fiber prices. I think as these lockdowns open up and the fiber prices and the availability of bottle both, availability of bottle increases, the demand for fiber is also increasing. So I think we should be able to do much better in this quarter.
Okay. And the quality means has the plant stabilized to your satisfaction or still the work is going on?
See,
in terms of quality,
stabilization is concerned, the plant is stabilized, but we can never be. There is always a scope for improvement. So I would say generally the plant is stabilized, but we need to aim at the world class manufacturing for this plant.
Okay. Second, the volume was down 24% sequentially, definitely because of the lockdown. You think July would have covered your peak utilization?
Yes. As far as the utilization is concerned, we are covered in July. And whereas uptake is concerned, I think in this quarter we'll cover up the entire deficit.
Okay. So Q4 we did about 28,700 tons. That would surpass in Q2.
Pardon me?
The last quarter, Q4 FY21, company did about 28,700 tons of yarn.
Yes.
So Q2 will surpass that, or it would be still lower than Q4 number?
See, as far as sitting today, we are concerned with one month having passed in the quarter. I think we should be able to do almost the same.
Okay, that's wonderful. And sir, final question: any updates on the home textile? What are the things going on over there?
Yeah. So on home textiles, as my colleague Vipin said that because of this lockdown and all that, and this being a discretionary spend, and mainly being sold at the retail stores, so we had challenge during this quarter after April. In fact, we were all set to go out, by mid of April. But then because of this lockdown, the entire retail chain, that was closed. However, still we managed to do good sales outside India. So we had good market. We did well in US and UAE. And since this is a little long drawn process from your sampling to actually getting the order, still I feel that on export front we did better. And I think with the opening up of malls and all retails in India now gradually, I think we should be able to do better in this quarter and going forward in the next quarters.
And how about domestic retail opportunity with your brand Nestera?
We saw a real good traction in the beginning when we launched this. Only in the month of April there was in the month of May, June there was a dip because of the closure of the retails, and now again we are augmenting the launch. So that means we are adding more books. So we feel that in Q2 towards the end and Q3, Q4 we should do better traction in Nestera, because it's a brand building. It takes some time, and I think we should be able to do good in this year.
Okay. Yeah, that's it from my side.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question now. A reminder to all, to ask a question, please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Shruti Shah from Shah Investment. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. So just to follow up on the previous question on the home textile business, we're witnessing losses this quarter as well. So, sir, if you could just, when do you think that this business will be a bit positive by?
Thank you, Shah, for asking this question. Yeah, I feel that we should be getting to positive on the operational side, on the operational profit and cash profits, I think towards the fourth quarter of this year.
Okay. Also, sir, just one question on the yarn segment. As all these bigger brands like H&M, Zara are focusing on recycling yarn, are we looking at an opportunity in this segment?
Yeah, we already have that, and in fact, we are going to increase that, because we are already certified as GRS in our both the plants, fiber as well as we can give yarn certification as well, and other required certifications. So I think we are now focusing more on this, and that is an opportunity for us as well.
Okay. And sir, how is the demand progressing in the quarter 2 of FY22?
As far as the yarn is concerned, yes, with the opening up of the market and also opening up of the what we call formal apparel, I think we will have better demand in this quarter as compared to the last one. And we are seeing some traction already in this in the month of July.
Also, sir, what would be the realizations in quarter 2 onwards?
I think our realization in quarter 1 has shown a considerable jump over the last quarter of 21. We had almost, in case of exports, realization had increased by almost 19% and domestic by almost 11 or 12%. We feel that towards the end of this quarter, we should be able to, increase our realization in a single digit number at least.
Okay. Also, sir, are we exploring opportunities in the technical textile segment?
Yes, we look at the industrial yarns, which also forms a part of the technical textile as well. So, as a yarn supply, yes, we are definitely looking at those opportunities.
Sir, if we could elaborate, where are we exploring these opportunities?
We are exploring these opportunities both in India and outside India on the yarn segment.
Okay. And sir, how is the demand scenario looking as of now, considering the upcoming festival season in the next 2 quarters?
We are little bullish on that, because with the festival season coming up, we see there would be a surge in demand and also combined with the pent-up demand. But it all depends on how COVID plays with us. So as of now, we feel that yes, there would be a pent-up plus festive season demand coming up in this towards the end of this quarter and early next quarter.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So for the questions, I'll join the queue.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and one now. The next question is from the line of Parik, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, please.
Congratulations, sir. I'm sorry, I actually joined a little late, so I'm not sure if this question has already been asked. But can you throw some light on the new green fiber plant? How is it going? And can you quantify the benefit that has come due to in-house raw materials now in terms of the margin, and what would be the contribution?
I'm sorry, I couldn't get your name, please.
My name is Parik, sir.
Parik.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Parik, for asking this question. See, our green fiber project, yes, it has stabilized well over the period of last quarter, and we are having a good utilization as well as the recovery. As far as the quality is concerned, we are able to manufacture good quality and selling in-house, and we are supporting our spinning mill on that. So I think going forward, we will certainly do better in operation. We have really stabilized as far as one of the good Indian fiber manufacturing mill is concerned. However, we aim at little bit better to do it as world class, so which we should be doing very soon. And raw material prices for fiber has played little havoc for this sector, because the bottle prices had really been rolling up as compared to May. May it was in the range of 34 rupees 75 paise, and today it is in the range of 46 rupees. So there is a surge of almost 31-32%. So having said so, we feel that two things have happened for our in-house consumption. One, we have better control over the quality. So we could make the quality what is required to do for the optimal spinning process. So that part we did cover well in this quarter, in the quarter Q1 of 22. Also, if you look at the numbers in terms of how much we would have gained, I think in this quarter we would have gained almost 0.5% in terms of EBITDA. If Vipin can correct me on this, I think almost this point we would have covered almost 0.5% on our EBITDA margin.
Okay, and is there any more headroom to go up?
Yes, it all depends on
the raw material prices.
The raw material, because it is only we have to look at, and we have to do some new product, as well as we have to serve our spinning units in terms of their optimizing their processes.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. If I have something else, I'll
surely
ask.
Thank you so much.
The next question is from the line of Vidhi Jain, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. First of all, many congratulations on the numbers. I wanted to understand the PLI scheme which government is talking about. Do you think Sapphire is going to get any benefit out of that scheme?
See, the PLI scheme, first of all, thank you very much for asking this question. This PLI scheme, what you asked, is basically, it was for synthetic. This is man-made fabric and garment. So this scheme is not meant for spinning. This is what, as far as the scheme as it stands today. So it says that you have to invest. As of now, the scheme says investment of almost, I think, 600 crores, and a turnover on the first year or the second year, it has to be a similar turnover. And then there are benefits or incentives on the profits. So I think this is more of a scheme for the fabric garments. So if we have to get, and this will definitely have impact on the yarn industry as well, because when the segment grow, fabric and garment segment grow in India, I think the demand for yarn would also increase. So we do see that if this scheme is, if people follow this scheme and take the advantage, there will be surge in demand for yarn as well. So we are hoping to do, serve fabric and garment this way.
Yeah, understood. One more question. What are the new evolution you are seeing at the ground level in the textile sector?
At the ground level, what we are seeing is people do. I mean, they are talking about technical textile hygiene, and also in terms of what we call, again, it falls under technical textiles only. I mean, what we call Meditech as well as the geogrids. So these are the few things which are really happening. Also, people are looking at the knitting as one of the sectors to grow. And if that knitting comes with the, synthetic fabric, so you are covered under PLI as well. So these are the few sectors which I feel personally that people are looking at. Of course, in India, we are seeing a lot of expansion in spinning industry as well. For what spinning has done good in over the last, say, 9 months or 3 quarters, we see some sort of expansion coming up in that.
Okay, sir. Understood. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and 1 now to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Prerna from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. I missed few data points. What is the current utilization in our home textiles business?
As of yesterday, it was in 70s.
Okay. And do you think we should be able to reach 100% utilization in this year?
See, we can reach 100%, but this segment is such where 100% utilization is not, because, see, it is a fashion business.
Mm-hmm.
It is a design business. You cannot have, because on one hand, we may have our own utilization little less, but we would be doing it from our, say, on lease or somewhere outsourcing as well. So I do not expect 100% utilization in this segment. If we are able to achieve 85 plus, we are good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you are near peak utilization in this business now.
No, I think we need to go. See, it all depends on what sort of designing we do and all that. In this segment, I expect that if we are able to go up to 85 to 90, we are good to go.
Okay. So do you think an expansion here will also make sense because it is still a very small proportion of our business, and if this will only give more fillip to our total top line and bottom line only if we expand it further.
No, yes, business expansion, yes. Capacity expansion, yes, we have to consider, but business expansion, I am saying that, yes, we have to do that. It may not be necessary that we have in-house capacity for that.
Okay, so we plan a capacity expansion in home textiles business also going forward?
This is a little too early to say. I would first like to achieve a utilization of 85% plus.
Okay. And just wanted to understand whether addition of spinning capacity would make sense and in which segment, given the government thrust to increase garment and home textiles and technical textiles, which are finished products. Largely the exports are likely to increase, domestic consumption hopefully would increase with reopening and stuff. So the demand for yarn is, if we are seeing a great demand going forward, do you think that expansion in spinning would also make sense in current scenario?
For whom?
For Sutlej.
For Sutlej, okay. So we have to, yes, you are right. We have to figure out that, okay, which segment of spinning we have to go in. Today we are in melange yarn and value-added yarn on synthetic. So we have to look at that what is the appetite for spinning in the same segment, or we need to go at the gray. So, it is little too early for me to say that we would like to expand in spinning.
So what will be the split of revenue between melange and value added or PCPV, however you can share?
Yeah, it is almost equal.
So 50% melange yarn and 50% value added yarn is what you say in the yarn segment.
No, if you look at Milan, we are almost say 40%. Both
Okay.
cotton and PC Milan.
Cotton and PC melange. Okay. Okay. And rest is our PC and PV dyed yarn.
And some other value-added yarns as well.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, you may press star and 1 now to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Vidhi Jain from an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to check. We had a small capacity knitting fabrics also. So, do we envisage any growth in this segment in upcoming year?
See, yes, I mean, we do envisage something, but it will be little too early for me to commit anything or to say anything. Yes, but it is a segment which should be looked at.
Another thing, sir, like Sutlej right now is in a very yarn-heavy business. Do we plan to grow in other value chains other than the home textile?
We are open to that.
In any plans in this year?
It all depends on the COVID situation.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may press star and 1 now. Participants who wishes to ask a question, please press star and 1 now. As there are no further questions from the participants, I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Ubdeep Singh, President and CEO, Sutlej Textiles, for closing comments.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for attending this earning call for Sutlej Textiles for Q1 of FY22. And I hope that you have got all your queries answered. And I wish you a very safe stay here on, and wish you all and your family a very good festive season coming forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you. On behalf of Sutlej Textiles and Industries Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.